Hi, I'm Derek, and today I'm going to show you the safe way to rig a lantern so that it's safe for you and the people that you are going to light. Right, the first thing that we're going to do is prep the lantern on the ground before we even think about going up and rigging it. So first we're going to do a quick visual inspection of the lantern to ensure that it is electrically safe. We do this by checking the cord or flex to make sure that there are no cuts, breaks or any of the inner coloured cores showing. Okay, next we check the plug. We're looking for any signs of burning, melting, any cracks, and that the flex is gripped firmly by the plug. At this point, you should also ensure that your equipment is PAT tested. This is an electrical test that should be carried out annually on all portable electrical equipment by a qualified person. If your equipment is not tested, you need to bring it to the attention of the relevant person in your establishment responsible for PAT testing. If you're not sure, ask, as this is very, very important. Right, the next thing we want to check is the hook clamp and yoke. We want to make sure that all of the nuts and bolts are nice and tight so that they can't work themselves loose and fall off. Now we don't want them to be too tight, obviously, as we're going to need to move the lantern around to focus it, but we need to ensure they are tight enough so that it remains in the position that we set it. Next, we want to make sure that all of the adjustments on the lanterns work, such as the shutter blades and focus knobs. Next, check that all of the accessories that we want to attach to our lantern are attached and ready to go, such as your colour frames and barn doors, and most importantly, your safety bond. Finally, if it's possible to test the lantern to ensure that the lamp works, do so. Now, the point of doing all of these checks on the floor is that it's much easier and safer to climb up to your lighting bar and rig the lantern once than it is to take several trips up to the bar and having to fiddle around with things whilst you're up in the air. So, now we're at our lighting bar. The first thing we want to do is ensure that there is no one directly below where we are working, in case we were to drop anything. Then we take our lantern, hook it onto the bar and tighten up the wing nut. Next we take our safety bond and ensure that it attaches the lantern to the bar. If the bond is too long, wrap the excess around the bar to ensure that the safety is not too loose. We do this so that if the clamp fails, the unit cannot generate enough force to break the safety bond. Now at this point, we want to ensure that the lantern is rigged the right way up. Lanterns are designed to hang a certain way, so that the large amounts of heat generated by the lamp can be vented away from the lamp and the lamp base. Rigging the lantern the wrong way up will result in reduced lamp life or dangerous overheating. If you're not sure, check the manufacturer's specifications. Now we want to point the light where we want it to light and open up the barn doors or shutter blades. Then we want to plug it in. Check to see how much cable you have between the lantern and the socket. If you have an excess, then loosely wrap the cable around the bar in a direction so that the cable entry to the plug is not put under any strain. That concludes our video. Hopefully you now understand how to safely rig a light. But it's important to say, if you feel unsure about anything that you are doing, just ask someone. Thanks for watching.